So these are our materials. This is an object that we use to store all of our item master level information, such as our manufacturer, our models, our part numbers, and any detailed specifications about a particular item. But it's important to note that a material is not inventory. It is just the model information of a particular item. You may or may not have stock of this item. So for instance, this GE quad knee coil here, I do not have any stock available or any internal stock. Whereas above here for this Alaris 8100, I have 4 available and I have 7 total internal stock. There's a lot of reasons those 3 additionals may not be available. It could be that they're a WIP item. They may have a repair in progress. It could be in quality check. They might be in shipping or in transit, or they could even be held for any type of project or call that they may be being worked on. Cool. So if we click into this Alaris 8100, I can see a lot of information about this item here. And keep in mind as we go through this demo and I try to show you all these screens that there's a lot of information here that may or may not be relevant to you and your organization. And these screens are highly customizable. You can add fields, you can hide fields, we can customize the views and permissions per users so that your users are getting exactly what they need to see and only what they need to see. So here I'm going to have all my manufacturer, my model, part number, year, revision information, as well as our ODM, or device manufacturer. We also have the common name of the item, the thumbnails, our serialized information, whether or not we require cores, whether or not it's a tool or a repairable item, internally repairable, and this information here in our detailed specifications could influence what happens later on down the road in the application, such as core required is going to trigger an RMA if an item is being used in the field, so we make sure we're getting that core exchange back, regardless of whether or not we have purchased it from a vendor requiring it on exchange. We also have our classifications and component types where we can classify these items, and you get to set up that classification structure. You can also set up your warranty, exchange days. You can capture your market price, and this market price is going to be based on the sourcing items that you are able to enter to the system. Sourcing items also being synonymous to a vendor quote, and we're going to capture all those vendor quotes so we are able to leverage how the price is changing throughout the market, and as well as what your average price to purchase is from a third party. We can also capture all the OEM information as well, the OEM list price or OEM exchanges and core values, as well as your total available value and your average cost per item. You can also set up your package dimensions, primary and secondary vendors, your min-maxes, and lots of things on these objects. If you see here and you go to your related tab, you can also see that everything, or not everything, but most things link back to a material. So this is a very core object within the application, and there's a lot of reporting that's going to be done off the materials. All of your inventory is going to relate to a material. You can put together your bill of materials. You're going to capture all of your sourcing linked to this item, all the prices you've received, every time the item's been requested and who it was requested by, as well as who you purchased the item from and what you purchased it for, and any harvests or any compatible materials or third-party stock that you may have of this item. Here in our historical overview, we've actually set up a custom screen to be able to break down just an overview of this item as it is today. This is something that you will see in other areas of the application as well, that we get to leverage while we're creating an order and things like that, where we can see our inventory that we have right now, our last 5 sourcing items, last 5 POs, and last 5 sales. So off the cuff, I can see, here's my inventory. This is what I've sourced it for, this is what I've purchased it for, and this is what I've sold it for, right in one view. And I can also dive deeper into this item if I want to as well. I can dive right into the details. I can dive deeper into that sourcing history if I would like by clicking on these tabs, and it'll bring up bigger lists of those items that we were just looking at. I can also look at the compatibility, substitutions, and other records that may be related to this material here. I can also add bill of materials, so I can add multiple records at once. I can add compatible materials if I have compatible items, and I can add materials to be compatible up to a certain threshold, and also make them reverse compatible. And then I can also view my bill of materials here, and it will show me the items that make up the material I'm looking at, and I can expand these to look at the details as well as look at the material details related and look at this items, in this case this gantry motor's bill of materials as well.